on my sporadic appearances throughout the last 2.5 years.
It's a welcome reminder of the note of melancholy that has run throughout this programme.
Well, run throughout
a couple of years.
my life. That, of course, was a song that was thanks to the Steve that I got onto it. Now, I know, obviously, Elbow have become very big since the show began, but it was a song that actually regular fans of Brand Dan might know that it was not an easy time of late because my girlfriend was involved in quite a bad accident.
We send a big shout out to her as well.
We do send a big shout out to Marilyn, but that was actually a Steve song that's meant quite a lot to us over the past few weeks, and so I wanted to play it on the last show.
Well, that's very sweet of you. Thank you very much. Am I thanking you, or is it her that should be thanking you?
And also Elbow, and
someone should be thanking me,
everyone.
as always. Sorry, good fun there in Fuji Miyagi, but who have you enjoyed the most in the hub in your many years on this programme, Sammy?
Stupid question.
Oh yeah, go man.
But apart from them, Captain.
You liked Captain, they were good fun, weren't they?
They were really good. I liked the man who had some sort of shoe violin case and his percussion. He had no drums, no real percussion, but he used all sorts of strange things.
Stomp stick, I believe it might have been called.
No, that's Duke Special, and that's the chipstick.
Yeah, all right.
What about yourself,
Got
Ruth?
mixed up. I've got lists, Steve.
Of your favourite sessions?
List of my favourite sessions.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I won't take long.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't want to take up the, we've got 20 minutes left on it.
I thought you meant you didn't enjoy the session.
No, I've got tons of sessions. These are the whittled down ones. Aqualung.
Yep.
Duke Special. Eccentric Tempest. It was fantastic with Sound of Rum. Scroobius Pip. Here without Dan Lassac, but fantastic on his own. Billy Bragg. A couple of times. Teddy Thompson.
He was good, Teddy.
Yeah.
Gary Lewis.
Yes, Gary Lewis of the Jayhawks.
Very, very good. Johnny Flynn.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
Flynn.
gorgeous.
All right, calm down.
Sam Duckworth. Get Cape Where Cape Fly.
Yeah, nice fella.
Laura Marling.
Oh, we were there at the front. We were there at the beginning.
We were, weren't we? Charlie Winston. Very good.
Human beatbox.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
possibly one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen.
It was extraordinary, wasn't it? And Rachel Unthank, who was, I still haven't bought the album, but it was, do you remember those, the Northumbrian folk
Yeah,
songs?
fantastic.
Beautiful, beautiful. And those are just a few of the favourite hub sessions we've had.
Well, I was very lucky, of course, because beginning of the show, early on in its run, September 2007, I got the chance to talk to one of my favourite music stars, Amy Mann. It was a big thrill for me because I remain a huge fan of Amy, and we had a little chat, and she played a tune for us.
In our band, when we have long drives, our favorite game is to play What's the Worst Song Ever Written? And some argue that that's number one. I think Ebony and Ivory is number one, but that's number two. That's a solid number two.
Well, you're wrong there, because Ebony Ivory has single-handedly ended racism, which is clear, whereas Lady in Red has achieved little, as far as I can
It's
tell.
like We Are the World ended World Hunger.
Exactly, yeah. Well, maybe that's what... And this is another thought. I'm just suggesting this to all pop stars and rock stars. Why not write a song which can easily be used on any sports montage?
Yeah.
Okay, it just needs to include the words winning, we've won something, you're a winner, hooray, celebration, things like this. Think about this.
Yeah.
It can get used in every...
Yeah.
You know, all right. So just make it. You know, if money's running low at any
When
point.
something means almost nothing, it can mean almost anything.
Exactly, exactly. Oh, and if we've learned nothing else from this interview, we've learned that. Red Vines by Amy Mann. Final tunes on this final Steve show, and I was thinking actually about the time that we've had on this programme and what's happened in my life over that 2 years, and I still haven't even got any curtains for my living room.
Really?
And yet I look at Rufus here, his lovely wife Mel there, and he's had an exciting life. He's got married in that time. I'm almost certain they've got curtains. I know this sort. They've got curtains.
They look the type.
And I was on the tube the other day, and there was a poster. There's a new series of posters for a particular beer brand, and it's a kind of retrospective style poster. You know, those kind of 30s Art Deco-y sort of posters, which normally featured kind of glamorous people in the Riviera. Well, they've sort of done something like that, and they've tried to recreate that. And there's one where there's a gentleman playing the piano, whilst a woman just sort of lies on the piano reading a book. And that's exactly how I imagine the life of Rufus and Mel. Whenever I think about their home life, that's exactly... And he's in a tuxedo, I think, and she's in a ball dress, and they're just, they're just having a leisurely afternoon. It's very much as I imagine your Sundays will be from now on.
Well, when we have friends around, we wear white tie, obviously, but when we dine alone, it's just black tie. And we don't go to any, real extent.
But it's been obviously a pleasure to have you on the show these years. Do you recall sometime back, I think it was April 2007, we had a little bit of a surprise for you, Ruth. Do you remember that?
Yes.
A couple of weeks back, when Rufus was on the show, I seem to recall that he mentioned a tape that he had recorded for his brother Lance you were at school, and you were what, 13, 14?
12.
And you recorded a audio letter to your brother Lance. Lance got in touch, and he very sweetly sent us the audio letter, which we're lucky enough to be able to play for you today.
The date is the 10th of May 1987, and I'm in the orchestra of Lambrook School, recording. Right. Dear Lance, thanks very much for your letter. The reason I sent you this tape and not letter is because I want you to record Hotel California on side B. Do you think you do that? Because this is C90 tape.
Rufus, is more? Are you happy for us to play more, or would you rather not?
I can't speak. I can't believe you've done this. You sound exactly like you do on the tape.
Oh, great days, great days. And once again, we should make it clear that home copying is killing music, so please do not record Hotel California or any Eagles tunes onto a C90 cassette. Let's have a final musical choice, if we can, from you.
Yes, Steve, proudly on my biography, I claimed that Jeff Buckley was my favourite musician. I saw him play once in 1994 in a tiny pub in Edinburgh, and this remains one of my favourite songs of his. It's off his one studio album, Grace, and appropriate enough, it's called Last Goodbye.
Rufus's final choice on this final show.
That was Last Goodbye by Jeff Buckley.
Thank you very much indeed. You've noticed something glamorous in front of you.
Yes, I have.
And I'm not talking about my good self. What do you think of the sunglasses as well?
I was liking those. I'm glad they came off. I thought you were going to wear them for the whole show.
No, I might put them on for these last few links. I've got some sunglasses. They were from... Did I mention this to you? They were from the... one of these, when you go to a big awards ceremony in the States, they have what they call the luxury lounge, and everyone who's nominated gets to go down there, and it's just goodies in a couple of hotel rooms, and you just run amok collecting what you can. And I got these rather cool sunglasses, which even Sammy admitted I look pretty damn hot in, am I right?
You do, until you look side on, and then the lenses are like
They're about an inch
jam
thick.
jar.
Yeah, they're about an inch and a half thick. Thanks very much indeed. Even this, on my final show, you couldn't allow me that moment of cool. No, you had to bring me crashing down to earth. Do the honours.
I should be opening this with a sword.
Oh, that is sloppy. Sloppy Paul. I will take this opportunity to thank everyone who's worked on the show in the past. Obviously, Lovely Jude. But I'm not going to name everyone because I'll almost certainly forget someone and it'll be embarrassing. So, a sort of generic thanks to everyone, including my agent, my mother, and God. But yes, obviously, big thanks to everyone. And also every guest we've had, and also all of these sessions. This was a big thrill when this gentleman came in. Do you remember Harry Shearer? You know him as Derek Smalls, and obviously also one of the key voices on The Simpsons. He popped into the show as well. And so, obviously, you know, let's talk briefly The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I'm presuming you're obligated contractually to not do any of the voices. You're not allowed.
That's correct, Stephen.
Excellent.
I would be suing myself into oblivion if I did any of the voices. I'm taking you with me.
Now, that is Marge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You got the ear.
I got the ear for
Yeah.
them.
Now, I thought you were going to say you're not like Nancy and doing robocalls as Scientology in your character voices. Did you see about that?
What's happened there?
Nancy Cartwright?
She does the voice of Bart.
Yeah, and she got in trouble for doing a robocall, one of those automated calls, and inviting people to a Scientology event.
That's as Bart.
Yeah.
Wow, that's extraordinary.
See, I can do that, what I did with you, but if I were,
nothing else.
well, if I were pitching a product or a religion, I think I'd get in trouble.
Well, come on then. I mean, just, dance for us, Monkey Boy.
Oakley dokley. I have to be in detention a little bit later after the show, based on your work here today.
One of the characters, or some of the characters I notice you do a lot, which I always try and buy, are kind of wacky radio DJs.
Yeah, Bill and Marty in the morning on WBBL, KBBL, I think it's one of the BBL. Sure. Yeah.
It's that sheer level of excitement that you only get on
It's overcaffeinated exuberance for you, listening pleasure. And just that laugh, the guys have to laugh at each other because they don't have sidekicks.
A gang of cronies.
Yeah.
Was he mocking us, do you think, with the...
Maybe a little.
Yeah, I fear that we are exactly the kind of radio show that he was mocking on The Simpsons. So be it, this is another reason why we are metaphorically hanging ourselves today on the programme. Cheers to everyone. We've got some champagne now, yes. Even you, Sammy, are drinking?
Yep.
That's great. Remember when we made her drink? Remember that great moment where a woman who had remained teetotal all her life, we made her drink for the first time? Later on, we're going to use peer pressure to make her smoke cigarettes.
Instead of making a happy memories list, I made a bones to pick with you list.
Go on.
Including missing out on Aqualung, Glastonbury twice, Harry Shearer, because I was stuck with my dad, Mr. T, and the purchasing of a tortoise.
Oh, yes, I still owe you for the tortoise,
really
don't I?
do, yeah.
I've given you so much, and yet all she remembers is bitterness. We'll play a final tune, and we'll say our farewells. Just realised it's a bit arrogant to play that. I was going to end with some Bruce, obviously, but I realised I didn't have enough time, so I thought I'd play that instead. I'm
clearly
embarrassed.
not the best.
No, I'm not the best. I'm clearly really quite shoddy.
It's only ever been a hobby, really.
It has, let's be honest. Yeah. No, guys, listen, I've got to come clean. I haven't ended the show. We're back next week. No, we're not back next week. I haven't ended the
I'd
show.
made plans.
No, yeah, it's fine. We're not coming back. In fact, the lovely Keris will be here for the next 4 weeks, and then who knows what beyond that. Stuart McConey, I guess, will be next. And yes, a big thank you to everyone who's listened in these last couple of years. We've enjoyed ourselves enormously every Sunday. We've not done it for the money. We've done it for the love. Genuinely, we've done it for the love. And I mean, it'd be great if anyone has bought a record because we've played it for them. Then that will be a huge thrill. And yes, a big thanks to my old gang here. And don't worry, it's not the end. It's au revoir. No, it's goodbye. It's goodbye.
On digital, online, BBC 6 Music.
Hello, and welcome to the History of Rome. The founding of Rome is an event wrapped in myth. Lacking a credible historical record, it is impossible to know exactly what led to the establishment of the Eternal City. But we do know the legend the Romans told themselves, and have some idea of the population migrations that took place in central Italy at the time, so we can piece together a general timeline of events. There may be truth wrapped up in the official legend, and there may not, but it is a good story and an important one to know for students of ancient history. It is the story of a refugee Trojan prince, and how his great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandsons would be wet nursed by a she-wolf and later found the greatest city of the ancient world. The story of Rome begins with the end of the Trojan War. After Troy was finally sacked by the Greeks, Aeneas, chief lieutenant of Hector, managed to escape with a few followers. They boarded ships and set out into the Mediterranean to find a new home. Their odyssey took them from Asia Minor to the north coast of Africa, where Aeneas managed to sow the seeds of the 3 Punic Wars by seducing the Carthaginian queen Dido and then abandoning her. Virgil writes that in the final moments before she committed suicide, Dido cursed the descendants of both to eternal enmity. O my Tyrians, besiege with hate his progeny and all his race to come. Make this your offering to my dust. No love, no pact must be between our peoples. No, but rise up from my bones, avenging spirit. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. After securing an archenemy for Rome, Aeneas sailed to the west coast of Italy, where he and his followers hoped to make a settlement. Arriving in the territory of Laurentum, the Trojans were immediately met by armed locals who tried to drive them off. But their king, Latinus, decided to make peace rather than war with the foreigners and offered his daughter Lavinia to Aeneas, solidifying an alliance. This marriage came as quite a shock to Turnus, prince of the Rutuli, a nearby tribe, because Lavinia had already been pledged to him. Angered by this slap in the face, he led an attack on the combined Trojan and Latin forces. The Rutuli were defeated, but King Latinus was killed in the fighting, leaving Aeneas in control of both the Trojans and the Latins, who were rapidly intermarrying in